the support vector mission. So in short, we can call it as a SVM. It's a mathematically rigorous machine learning technique to build a linear binary classifier. Actually, it creates a hyperplane. I'll show you what is hyperplane, or if you know, you are already knowing that. So it creates a hyperplane in a high dimensional space that can accurately slice a dataset into two segments according to the desired objective. Okay, according to the desired objective. Okay, one second. So here, what actually SVM is? So in machine learning, SVM are supervised learning models with associated learning algorithms that analyze data used for classification and regression analysis. Okay, for example, given a set of training examples or training data set, okay, each marked as belonging to one or the other of the two categories, okay, two categories or two classes, okay, that we can say it as a binary class. Okay, an SVM training algorithm builds a model that assigns new test data. Here we can call it as examples. Okay, test data, it can also be used with the another terminology, that is example. Okay, so SVM training algorithm builds a model that assigns new tested record to one category or the other, making it a non-probabilistic binary linear classifier. Okay, so here, as I told here, this I have told, that is SVM is a supervised machine learning algorithm basically for classification regression. Okay, it is based main application on in the classification. Okay, then it can be both linear and non-linear. Okay, it can work on both linear and non-linear. Preferably it will be on linear. Okay, then SVM model is basically a representation of different classes in a hyperplane in multi-dimensional space. So it is generated, hyperplane is generated in an iterative manner by SVM so that error can be minimized. Okay, so the main goal here is that it divides the data set into classes to find the maximum marginal hyperplane. Okay, that we in short we call it as MMH, that is maximum marginal hyperplane. So here, just a minute. Yeah. So an SVM is a classifier function in a high dimensional space that defines the decision boundary between two classes. Okay, it defines the decision boundary between two classes. And what is that? The support vectors are nothing but the data points. Whatever you are seeing in the blue color or okay, blue color or green color, we call it as a data points. That's nothing but the records in the data set. Okay, the records in the data training data set. It will be a records in the training data set. Whatever you are seeing here, okay, they are just the records in the training data sets. All this whatever you are seeing. So here the support vectors are the data points that define the gutters. Okay, you just remember this because in further we will be remembering this. Okay, so that define the gutters or the boundary condition. Okay, boundary condition on either side of the hyperplane for each of the two classes. This is the data points which belongs to a class B, and this is the data point which purely belongs to a class A. So here there are some terminologies that we have to remember in the support vector mission. What is that? Okay. First one is hyperplane. What is actually the hyperplane? It is nothing but the decision plane or space which is divided between a set of objects having different classes. So here you can see a line. Okay, a line which is in between the two sets of classes. This is one set of class and this is another set of class. Okay, so the hyperplane or the decision boundary. Okay, in other words we can say decision boundary is drawn. Okay, so this we call it as a hyperplane. This part, the linear line, we call it as a hyperplane. We have next is the support vectors. What are support vectors? Support vectors are nothing but the data points, as I told. Okay, it is also defined as a gutter. Okay, or boundary condition. Okay, boundary condition. So data points that are closest to the hyperplane. Okay, that we call as a support vector. So separating line will be defined with the help of this data points. Okay, separating the line will be defined with the help of this data points. Next, another one is margin. Okay, you can see here there is a perpendicular line. Okay, like this. There is a perpendicular line. If you see here, we have a hyperplane, and hyperplane is having hyperplane is having one here you can see here one line. Okay, so it may be defined as a gap between two lines. Okay, gap between two lines on the closest data points of different classes. Okay, so this we called as a margin. In the coming slide, I'll show you one more dotted lines will be drawn. Okay, that maximum gap between the two lines we called as a margin. So here it can be calculated as the perpendicular distance, okay, from the line to the support vector. Okay, margin, larger the margin is considered as a good margin, and smaller the margin is considered as a bad margin. Okay, large margin is considered as a good margin, and smaller the margin is considered as a bad margin. So here we have two types of data. It can be linearly separable data, that means we can easily draw the boundary. Okay, so linearly separable data. So here we have non-linearly separable data. I cannot draw the linear line like this. Yes or no? It is because it is non-linear. So this type of data set we called as non-linear, and this type of data set we called as a linear. Okay, linear, which can be easily separated, okay, by drawing the decision uh, boundary. So now let us understand the working of this support vector machines. Okay, by simple example. So you can see here. Let us imagine we have two classes. Whatever I have written here tag, it is nothing but the classes. Two classes. One is red, another is blue. Okay. So and the data has two features, that is x and the y. So we want to classify that. Okay, given a pair of xy coordinates. Okay, outputs if it's either a red or blue. So we plot our labeled training data on the plane. So whatever the data or the records we have in the training data, we just plot in the form of xy. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. I think by this time you will be knowing how to draw the data points. Yes or no? So in the training data set, if it is numerical data, if we have a two attributes x and y, okay, x and y. So x is given 1 and y is given the value 2. So we can say here x value 1 and y value 2. So the data point can be drawn here. Yes or no? Okay. So like this, the entire training data set data points will be drawn on a plane with the two dimensions. That is, one is x-axis, another is y-axis. Okay, x coordinate and y coordinate. So next, so here a support vector machine takes these data points and outputs the hyperplane. This whatever the boundary line you are seeing, decision boundary we call it as, it will outputs the hyperplane. Okay, so which in two dimension it's simply a line. Okay, that best separates the classes. So it is, if you see here, this hyperplane is drawn in such a way that the all the class belonging to that the blue. Okay, that the class is equal to blue is in one side and class is equal to red is in another side. It is clearly separated. Okay, so this line is a decision boundary. Okay, anything that falls to one side of it will classify as okay, blue, and anything that falls on the other side will classify as red. So this is one boundary. So if the test record falls to this side, it will be classified as blue. If the test record falls to this side, it will be classified as red. Okay. So now, but what exactly is the best hyperplane? There can be more than one hyperplane also. It can be drawn like this. Okay. It can be drawn like this. Okay. Straight. It is not straight. You can consider the line is straight. So it can be drawn like this. So what exactly is the best hyperplane, or which hyperplane can be considered as a best? So that we can see here, there can be several decision boundaries that can be divide the data points without any errors. Okay, you can see here. This is what I was telling. Okay, this one like this. This is also clearly separating. Okay, this is also clearly separating whatever is there. So which one is best means, okay, for SVM it is the one that maximizes the margin from both the classes. Okay, in other words, the hyperplane whose distance to the nearest element of each tag is the largest, whose distance to the nearest element, okay, whose distance to the nearest element, okay, please remember, whose distance to the nearest element of each class, okay, or a tag is the largest. That will be the best hyperplane. Okay. I want to show in the next slide. Yeah, the best decision boundary is the one which have maximum distance from the nearest point of the two classes. The nearest points from the optimal decision boundary that maximize the decision are called as support vectors. Yeah, let us discuss about this diagram. This diagram, that is hard line, whatever you are seeing, that hard line, okay, and we have a two dotted lines. Here is one dotted line and here is one dotted line. In middle we have one hard line, okay. So the hard line is the optimal hyperplane, okay. The dotted lines are gutters, okay, what I was telling in the previous slide. The dotted lines are gutters on the sides of the two classes, okay. The gap, here you can see the gap, okay. The gap between the gutters is the maximum or widest margin. The classifier is defined by only those points that fall on the gutters on both sides, okay. These points you can see here, this, okay. These are the new examples. So these points are called the support vectors. Okay, these points, whatever is in the darken, this is unfilled and this is filled. If you see here, this is one class, one set of class, and this is one set of class. Okay, this is filled, this is unfilled, this is filled, unfilled. So whatever you are seeing, which is on the gutter, okay, gutter, that is dotted line, we called as a support vectors. Okay, so the rest of the data points in their class are irrelevant for defining the classifier. Okay, so here you can see this belongs to this part and this one belongs to this part, which is having the maximum distance. Now let us consider the linear support vector mission. Suppose that are training data of n points. Okay, training data of n points is x1 comma y1 to a xi to the yi, where xi represents the p-value vector for point I and yi, okay, is its binary class. Yi, it should be yi here. Okay, yi is its binary class of value 1 or minus 1. That means what here? We have the class it is greater than 0, that is 1, and less than 0, that is minus 1. So assuming that data is indeed linearly separable, okay, or separatable, the classifier hyperplane is defined as a set of points, okay, which is the subset of training data, okay, that satisfies the equation that is called f of x. Here it is given f of x is equal to 0. What is f of x? W into x plus b. Okay, so w into x plus b. So when we put this into equation, we will get w into, okay, x plus b is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. This equation will get. What is w? W is nothing but normal vector to the hyperplane. So here the hard margin, okay, hard margin can be defined using the hyperplanes that I show in the next slide. So what is W? W is nothing but the normal vector to the hyperplane. X is nothing but the input vector, okay, and B is nothing but the bias, okay. W is also known as weight vector, okay, weight vector. So here we have a model like this. So the hard margins can be defined using the hyperplanes like w into x plus b is equal to 1 and w into x plus b is equal to minus 1. Okay, this one. So here the width of the margin, okay, hard margin, the width of the hard margin can be represented using 2 by w. Okay, 2 by w. So let us see some of the before going to the advantages. Okay, before going to the advantages, for all the points not on the hyperplane, they will be safely in their own class. Okay, which is now if you see this one. Okay, so if you see this data points which is not on the hyperplane, they are safe in their own class. Thus, the y value will have be either greater than 1 or less than minus 1. Okay. So, the SVM algorithm finds the weight vector, that is W, for the features such that there is a widest margin between the two categories. Okay. Computing an SVM using these equations is little bit cumbersome. However, by working with points nearest to the classifying boundary only, it reduces sharply the number of data instances to work with. Okay. This approach reduces its memory requirement for computation. This is possibly because of using the kernel method. Okay. So the kernel method achieve this by learning from instance. They do not apply some standard computational logic to all the features of each input. Instead, they remember each training example and associate a weight representing its relevance to the achievement of the objective. This could be called instance based learning. Okay, there are several types of support vector, okay, models including linear, polynomial, okay, sigmoid, all these are support vectors. Next we see the advantage. So what is the main advantage or the main strength of SVM is that they work well even when the number of, okay, features is much larger than the number of instances. Okay, instance means what? It is a record or the row. Features means what? Is the attribute. So it can work on data set with huge feature space. Such is the case in spam filtering, where the large number of words are the potential signifier of messages being spam. Another advantage of this SVM is that even when the optimal decision boundary is a non-linear curve, the SVM transforms the variables to create a new dimension such that the representation of classifier is a linear function of those transformed dimension of the data. SVMs are conceptually easy to understand. Okay, that means they create an easy to understand linear classifier. By working on a subset of relevant data, they are computationally efficient. So SVM are now available with almost all data analytics tools. Here, there are some limitation with the SVM. What are that? The SVM techniques have two major constraints. What is that? It works well only with the real numbers. Okay, that is all the data points in all the dimension must be defined by numeric values only. And next constraint is it works only with the binary classification problems. Okay, one can make a series of cascading SVM to get around this constraints. So training the SVM is an inefficient and time consuming process when the data is larger. It does not um, work well with when there is no when there is much noise in the data. It will not work well when there is much noise in the data and thus have to compute soft margins. We talked about hard margins. The SVM will also not provide a probability estimate, okay, of classification. That is, the confidence level of classification classifying an instance will not be given. So to conclude, support vector machine is a machine learning technique for classifying high dimensional data into two classes. It creates a hyperplane with the largest amount of separation between the two classes. The classifier is made linear by transforming the original features of input data into new features. SVMs use kernel methods to learn from specific instances that are close to the decision boundary. SVM are used for text mining, such as spam filtering and outlier detection. Okay, thank you.
You are muted.